Oi! Yes! Dude, it's a new week. We got UFC Vegas 41 coming up this week, you guys. It's Monday. It's time for the first Balls Deep breakdown of the week with me, your host, Uncle Weezy. Dude, what's going on? How is everybody doing out there? How was your week last week? Mine was meh. I wound up down 0.5 units. It would have been up 2 units if the Silva Sanchez fight had finished 6 seconds sooner. But, this is gambling. Sometimes it's a game of inches. Sometimes we lose by these little tiny margins. But that's all right. As long as we keep the losses small, try to get some big wins here and there. We just want to be up in the long run. But it's a whole new week, you guys. It's a whole new opportunity to make some more money betting on the UFC. We got 12 fights going on for UFC Vegas 41 here coming up on Saturday, October 23rd. We will be handling one of these fights today. We will be talking about the fight between Jeff El Jefe Molina and Daniel Miojo Lacerda, who will be making his UFC debut. I'm ready to go. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat before we figure out whether my guy Smooth Jimmy is actually in the studio and ready to go with us here. But we got my guy Grateful Dude saying thanks again for going balls deep on the stats. You're welcome, my man. Let's go balls deep into everything that we have to do for this fight because I've already found some spots that I like on it. We got Luke Fulton saying, "Oi, always ready to go anytime to go balls deep with my uncle." Well, we're going to go balls deep into the stats of this fight. We got one guy making his UFC debut, so it's going to be a little bit weird here on Balls Deep Breakdown today, as we have one guy that actually doesn't have any UFC stats. But it's not just the stats in the UFC that we're going to be looking at. It's the finish numbers, it's the experience numbers, it's the strength of schedule numbers. We got all that for you guys today, so hopefully we can find some spots here. We got Raw Torque saying, Weezy always brings the truth. Thanks for hanging out, Raw Torque. We got pocket quarterback Lamar Jackson. It was blah. Did you enjoy the judges? Yeah, I wasn't a particularly fan of the judges. I usually am not. The judging has actually been decent lately, but up until, a lot of people were really pissed off about that Danny Roberts decision. Yeah, this was not the best one for the judges, but when there's a lot of close fights, especially like the Arlovsky Felipe fight was very close. The Roberts and Meave fight was very close. Usually somebody winds up being disappointed, and we had a couple close fights here. I know I got burned on that Selecki Gordon fight a couple of weeks ago. That was a coin flip. It could have went either way, but the judges, when you leave it in the hands of the judges, you're pretty much at their mercy, and it's not a good place to be. And then we got Borgie 2008 saying, Wagwan Weezy, we go again. We got Rex Lee saying, we need to shave some ass this week after getting our ass shaved last weekend. Yeah, it could have been way worse for me, but still, I don't like being down units, even if it's less than a unit. You'll always want to try to make as much money as possible. We got Raw Torque saying scratching and clawing, which is what we have to do. We got Joseph Bellotti in the room. What are your thoughts on Tate ripping Jim West? Oh, was Jim West the corner man for Aspen Ladd? Is that what you're talking about? I was watching that. These cornermen, they know how to get the reactions that they want out of their fighters. Some of them know that they're supposed to be quiet and thoughtful with their fighter, and others just get in their face and try to fire them up. And frankly, if you watch the Aspen Ladd Yana Kunitskaya fight, you saw a very similar situation with the corner in that fight, where he was just in her face telling her she needed to go, and she came out in the third round and knocked out Yana with the first shot that she threw. So I hope that's what you're talking about. If not, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I don't have any problem with what he was saying to Aspen Ladd there. I don't have any problem with the way that, and if Aspen Ladd didn't like it, she can go find someplace else to, she can go find someplace else to train, find somebody else to coach her. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people waiting in line to coach her. She's got a lot of ability. She's still very young. She's still got a lot of fights ahead of her. So yeah. Thanks for checking in, Joseph. Appreciate that. We got JSJ23 checking in, saying time to get back in the green this week, Weezy. Damn right. We got my guy DFS by the numbers saying balls deep time. I will be going live on DFS by the numbers channel less than 1 hour from now, you guys, to break down the main event for UFC Vegas 41, which is going to be Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori. We will be going balls deep into the stats on his channel for that fight in exactly 55 minutes from now. So check that out. I will post the link to that before we head out here so that you guys know where to go next. And then we've got JSJ saying, much tape out there on Lacerda? No, there is not, my friend. He's got 12 fights, and there is only tape on 3 of them that I have found. So that's a problem. But we're going to go as much, into the information that is available on Lacerda so that we could try to find some angles on this fight. And we got Daz Files saying Danny Roberts was the worst decision ever. No question. Yeah, people hated that decision. I had no money on that fight. I had no stake in that fight whatsoever. So I wasn't watching with as critical of an eye as I normally would be watching, but I don't know anybody that liked that decision. And we got Jack Attack MMA in the room saying, Big Weezy, I got my ass shaved last week, so I need to get back on the horse this week. Yeah, man, that's what happens, dude. This is a game of ups and downs we play here with MMA. It's a game of inches. It's a game of seconds, and it's a game that has very, very high variance. So if we can keep the losses small, over the long run, we'll do well. But, we can't be also revenge betting every time we have a bad week, trying to get it all back in 1 week. It doesn't work like that either. We always got to have bankroll management. We always got to have discipline. We always got to take the time to read both sides of a fight and try to place our money big when we have a really good read. Other than that, we try to be disciplined. And over the long run, hopefully we get the better of these bookies. Thanks for hanging out, Jack Attack. And we got my guy Chris in the room. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Unc, always grinding. Respect. Damn, I did not see Nate beating Klein so easily. I should have known to lay off knowing Klein isn't the best off his back foot striking, and that's what Nate does. Yeah, that's another fight. By the time I saw that line, I think Ludovic was minus 330 or something. So there's no line. There's no value in betting Ludovic there. And I didn't see that coming either, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know a lot of people that saw Landwehr having that dominant of a performance against Klein. But, boy, he really put it to him. And, hey, big up. Nate the Train, Clarksville, Tennessee, stand up. Your boy did it. That was a hell of a performance, man. And when Nate Landwehr wins, man, he puts people on notice. He looked fantastic when he beat Elkins. He looked fantastic on Saturday, beating Ludovic Klein. I'm excited to see what's next for Nate Landwehr because that's a really fun guy to watch. Win or lose, Nate Landwehr brings it every single time. So I'll be interested to see that one. I'm just glad I didn't get caught in that trap. I know a lot of people got caught in that Ameev trap. I know a lot of people got caught in that the Klein trap. I personally got caught in the under 2.5 trap on the Silva Sanchez fights. That one really hurt. I thought that he was going to get it done in less than 2.5 minutes in that third round, but it is what it is. And we got Roy C saying, what's up, everybody? We got Joseph saying, yes, he is the corner man. Yeah. So, I had no problem with that. I had no problem with the way the corner man was talking to Aspen Ladd. Jack Attack saying Jim West didn't do anything wrong. He told her she was down 3 and needed to go for it. Was he supposed to say everything was going okay or something? Haha. Yeah, no. And it wasn't going okay. After that first round, he needed to wake her up. She didn't do anything. And one of the reasons that I picked Aspen Ladd in that fight is because prior to this fight, we've always seen Aspen try to get the fight to where she wants it, which is on the ground. And I think a lot of people are intimidated trying to take down Norma Dumont. I think that Aspen was intimidated to try to get those takedowns. She was unsuccessful in getting them. Norma's very hard to take down. And people that can't beat Norma on the feet are going to have a very difficult time getting the fight to their world against her. So, yeah, no problem with what Jim West said. He's her corner man. He's been her corner man for a very long time. He knows how to motivate Aspen. I'm not going to question that. It's not my place to question that anyway. Thank you, Jack Attack. And Pin Them Likes Peeps says Raw Torque. I agree. And we got Jack Attack saying I hedged a Maeve with Robert Split. Thank goodness. My God, that is a great hedge, dude. That probably paid off pretty well. Also bet Landwehr decision at 6-1. Unfortunately, Klein is a quitter. My God, man, that dude, if you would have hit that at 6-1, that would have been quite a hit. We got Stroll with Joel saying same first week in 3, though. Almost had a full month. Okay. Same first week in 3, though. Almost had a full month. You probably mistyped something there, so I don't know what the hell that means. But Stroll with Joel, thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate it, man. JSJ saying, hope we leave the bookies feeling like an Italian DJ come Saturday. I don't think Lacerda has ever made it to jungle fights. I think he was in lower promotion. Molina for me. So let's talk about it, you guys. Let me share my screen here. Two, by the way, in the room saying, got anything on the DWCS? So I happen to be talking to Narco Cop on Saturday. Narco Cop MMA. He does a Dana White Contender Series show every week. It will be going on tonight on Narco Cop MMA's channel. Check that out. He'll give you all his picks. He's got Liam Picks fights and the GOAT Tajik Bey on his show tonight. You should all check that one out because it's a really good one, and he gets some great angles and some great spots on these Dana White Contender Series cards. I personally have 2 units on Caio Borralho at minus 200. That line has moved way away. And I've also got 1 unit on Solomon Renfro, which I got at a pick 'em minus 110. I think he's around like minus 300 now. So I've got those spots. The line is completely moved away, so I don't think they're bettable anymore. As a matter of fact, you might want to get on Renfro's opponent where the line is right now. But that's all I've got for Dana White Contender Series. And Wheel Kick Ignacio saying, thanks for the content, Weezy. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Wheel Kick. Let's get into the numbers here. Let me get my guy Smooth Jimmy up on the screen here and see if he's ready to go. Let's see if he's got some picks for you guys. Let's see. No, that didn't work. Share screen. I got to share this screen. The button is always just a little bit too low for me to click on. And that didn't work either. Dear God, this is always funny when this happens. There's that. And there we go. And I think that's Smooth Jimmy. Yeah, there's Smooth Jimmy. He's ready to go with his lock of the week. That means we got to get into all the stats for this fight. UFC Vegas 41. Molina versus Lacerda. Let's go. I've got all the stats for this and every other fight on the card, you guys. And it is right here. So in the description for this video, I've got all 12 fights and the advanced stats, which are all the way over to the tab on the left for every fighter on the card so that we can look at, every fight from a statistical perspective, see all the stats side by side. Feel free to download that for free in the description of this video, you guys. But here's the one that we're going to be looking at. I'm going to zoom in on it here, you guys. And we'll start like we always do with the tail of the tape. We got Jeff Molina, only 24 years old. We got Daniel Lacerda is 25. Both of these guys are 5'6". I'm going to go to UFC stats right now to see if they have, if they've updated Lacerda's information, because I couldn't find it anywhere in terms of the stance. And so he's a switch stance fighter, but we still don't have a reach on him. And he's training out of ATS team in Brazil. So let me just update this to switch. Or I'm sorry, that's the reach. I'll update that. Switch. And we got an orthodox fighter in Jeff Molina fighting out of Glory MMA with out of the United States. So Lacerda from Brazil, Molina from the United States. Molina training under James Krause over at Glory MMA. And if we go over here to the Tapology profiles of these guys, I watched all the available tape today on Molina and Lacerda. And in the first fight that was available to watch was this fight in KC Fighting Alliance here against Chance Camacho. And even in this fight back in 2018, in a very small promotion, James Krause was in the corner of Jeff Molina. So every fight that I saw on the tape index with Jeff Molina, he has been being coached his head coach has been James Krause. So that's a really great thing for a guy in Molina who's only 24 years old, a young man with 11 professional fights, basically has been fighting since the age of 14 in martial arts and then on to MMA when he was the pro length of the career is 4 years and 4 months. So he's been fighting since he was about 19. Daniel Lacerda with a 4-year, 6-month career has been fighting since he was about 20. He's got 12 professional fights. The records of these guys, we see Molina with 9 wins and 2 losses. Daniel Lacerda is 11-1. Twice as much time in the pro cage for Jeff Molina. The average fight time, twice as much for Molina at just under 7 minutes, while we got 2.96 minutes for Daniel Lacerda. And then the length of the pro career almost identical. Daniel Lacerda will be making his UFC debut, while Jeff Molina has a Contender Series fight and a UFC fight. He's won both of them. They've both went to decision. When we look at the finish stats for these guys, we see that Jeff Molina in 9 professional fights has a 44% submission rate and a 33% knockout rate, meaning that he has finished 7 of his 9 pro wins inside the distance. While for Lacerda, we have a 55% submission rate and a 45% knockout rate. That means he's finished 6 by submission, 5 by knockout. That is a 100% finish rate for Daniel Lacerda. So out of their 20 combined wins, 18 of them have come inside the distance for a 90% combined finish rate. If we look at the losses, we see that Jeff Molina has been finished by submission in one of his 2 losses. The other loss was a decision. And then Daniel Lacerda lost by TKO in his only loss due to an arm injury, I believe. So in the 3 combined losses, we have 2 of them finishing inside the distance for a 2/3 finish rate on the losses. So, 12 fights and 11 fights, 20 of them have finished inside the distance, you guys. That's really impressive. That leads me to believe that an under bet here is going to be really good. The other thing that we have to look at, you guys, is Daniel Lacerda's record. And I think it's best looked at on SureDog's site instead of Tapology, because what we can see for Lacerda is the average fight time. And we can see how many times this guy has been out of the first round in his career, because we were just talking about 90% combined finish rate in their wins, 66% combined finish rate in their combined losses. So it's looking like an under bet would be great. And here we got Daniel Lacerda, Miojo, at 11-1, coming in with a finish in all 12 of his fights, whether they're win or loss. But look at this, you guys. This is the key. First round, minute 56. First round, 4:39. First round, 3:22. First round, 4:57. First round, 26 seconds. First round, 1:08. Second round, 4:59. First round, 29 seconds. First round, 37 seconds. First round, 2:45. First round, 2:40. First round, 2:23. In 12 professional fights for this guy, Lacerda, he has been out of the first round only once. This is exactly the type of fighter that we want to fight, or we want to bet a fight doesn't go to decision, you guys. A mercurial fighter who finishes quickly or gets finished quickly. We don't know what the conditioning will look like in the second or third round. We know that an adrenaline dump is absolutely possible at this level for debuting fighters, for young fighters. And this is only going to be Molina's third fight at the UFC level, and it's going to be Miojo's first. So the chance here for an early finish on either side, to me, is actually quite good. So let's talk about the striking numbers here. Lacerda finishing 45% of his pro wins by knockout. Jeff Molina finishing, I believe it's 44% by knockout. No, it's 33% by knockout, 44% by sub. So we have seen Molina's hands, and they are nice. Guy's got really good striking, kicks, knees, elbows. His boxing is excellent. Landing 8.83 significant strikes a minute in 2 UFC fights and absorbing 6.63. Throwing 18.5 significant strike attempts per minute. landing at a 47.75% accuracy. He's landing a knockdown on 0.75% of the significant strikes that he lands, and he's averaging exactly 1 knockdown per 15 minutes, which means that he has 2 knockdowns in 2 fights. And on the defensive side, we're seeing that he's out throwing his opponents by almost 4 significant strikes a minute. He's outlanding his opponents by 2.2 significant strikes a minute, and showing a pretty decent striking defense of 55%. But he is fairly hittable on the feet. And then if we look at the grappling stats, we see that Molina's been 0 of 3 on his takedown attempts. He's getting 10.33% control time and being controlled 9.33% of the time. His opponents have been successful on 5 of their 6 takedown attempts against him. So only a 1/6 takedown defense here for Jeff Molina. He's getting taken down 2.5 times for 15 minutes and giving up that 9.33% control time. So when you watch the footage on Lacerda and here on the tape index, you can see how much tape footage there is available. And believe me, guys, it's not much. And this MMAplay365.com is a great place to go sign up if you're looking to get all of your links in one place when you do your tape study for fights. This is a great place to go. I think it's only like $4 a month. So I pay for this. And then if you're on UFC Fight Pass and if you have ESPN Plus, you can check on any of these links and see these fights. But the Rodrigo Sarafian fight was his most recent fight. And we saw him finish that one by a knockout in round 1. And then prior to that, we had the Yarley Martins fight and the Wellerson Mateus fight. And those fights were finished Martins 29 seconds. And then Mateus, where's the other one? Mateus Silva Severino, is that the one? No, it's Wellerson Mateus. All right, maybe that is it. These Brazilian dudes have like 5 names. Oh, no, it is this one. There is another Mateus. Wellerson Mateus Santos. And he got that one where he was on top for the majority of that fight, rolled to his back and locked up a triangle almost immediately. So, this guy is slick on the ground. He's got an armbar, an armbar, an armbar, a triangle choke, an armbar, a triangle choke. So, he does get submissions from his back. 4 arm bars, 2 triangle chokes, and then he's got some head kicks. He's got some punch knockouts, knees and punches. So, this guy he's very good, man. The tape that I've seen on him is excellent, but there's just not enough out there. So, the problem is that we just don't have enough tape on this guy. But what I've seen out of Molina makes me feel pretty good about betting him here because this is going to be a step up in competition for Lacerda. If we look at the records of some of these guys that Lacerda is beating, 20-11 Rodrigo Sarafian, 13-12 Fernando Esprilla, 4-2 Augusto Cesar, 6-4 Yarley Martins, 5-0 Mateus de Silva. So he's fought decent competition on the regional scene down there in Brazil. Shutu, 2 fights in Shutu, 3 fights in Shutu. So, definitely Molina has fought the slightly better competition, but when we go a little bit further in and we look at Molina here, you guys, we are going to see a lot less impressive records. Now we got Ilori Quileng, who's 18-7, fighting on the Chinese regional scene. We got Jacob the Animal Silva at 6-2, Kenny Porter at 11-5. But then when you go back before that, it's Chance Wilson at 2-1, Johnny Rhodes at 9-17. Joey Estrada at 3-7, Joey Scanlon 0-1, Chance Camacho making his debut, Nate Smith 0-0, Delfino Benitez 0-0, and Stephen the Surgeon Merrill, who was 3-0 at that time, but who is now 5-7. So we saw that Molina lost 2 of the first 3 fights in his career, and then he's just ripped off a 5, 6, 7, 8 fight winning streak here. But if we look at the competition on the Lacerda side on the regional scene, he might have been fighting slightly better regional scene competition. But then if you go for the last 3 fights, Porter, Silva, Quileng, you see a combined record of 35 and 12. That's 35 and 14. So, 5-2 overall is basically what we're looking at. 5 wins, 2 losses on the average. So, definitely pretty good competition in the last 3 fights. It looks like Molina is taking that next step in terms of the level of competition that he's facing. So, when we look at just the statistics that we have availability here, the experience numbers very close, the tail of the tape very close. We don't know what Lacerda's reach is. We know that both of these guys are equal opportunity finishers. 44% by sub, 33% by knockout for Molina, 55% by sub, 45% by knockout for Lacerda. When we look at the level of competition, maybe a slight, probably just a slight better for Molina in the last 3 fights. But then if you go further than the last 3 fights, I would say Lacerda. So everything on paper that I've got, you guys, is really close. But the problem is that you see these 3 fights against lower level competition for Lacerda, and you just don't know how he's going to look in the step up. So when we're looking at who's going to win the fight, I don't have as strong of a read on that as I do on the props that are already available on the fight. So let's go back into the chat. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. And then we're going to take a look at the props that are available on this fight and see if we can't find something that makes some sense. So let's see what you guys are saying here. We got Wheel Kick saying, thanks for the content. Appreciate that. And then we got Jack Attack saying, I got Renfro at -150, Kolev at +112. Yeah, fantastic, dude. I got Renfro at -110, luckily, because I know Narco Cop, and we do a show together on Saturday, and that dude is the DWCS Whisperer. So if you're looking for DWCS content, check out Narco Cop's show tonight on his channel on YouTube. But yeah, this is going to be, I beat the hell out of the line movement thanks to Narco Cop. So hopefully the guys now, they just go in there and do their job. Yeah, Kaio does look good to go. That dude, I love his style of fighting. I love grappling heavy game plans that are great on the defensive side and that exhaust their opponents. And Kaio's got that in spades. And then we got Rodriguez, Kaio, 2 units for Daz Files there. Not bad at all, my man. I like that a lot. We got Raw Torque saying the win over Jacob Silva was a good indication of the good technical skills that Molina has. Yeah, I agree with you. Silva put up a good fight there. Silva cracked him a couple of times. You see that Molina is hittable. He's not perfect defensively, especially on his takedown defense. His takedown defense is not good, but his get-up game is pretty damn good. Even on the regional scene, you see Molina getting taken down quite a bit, but you don't see him being controlled there for long periods of time. He does get up. He takes some risks getting up, but he does get up, and that's very important. So, I mean, as long as you get up, usually you're exhausting your opponents, because offensive wrestling is exhausting. So as long as you don't allow your opponents, after they expend the energy to complete a takedown, to rest and keep you there when they've taken you down, if you just keep getting up, you make them lower their energy bar that much more the next time when they have to try to mat return you. So Molina's good at that, and we've seen Molina's conditioning late in fights. This guy does not have a conditioning problem at all. Now, can we say the same for Lacerda? We don't know. There's a big missing piece of information there. Maybe the dude's a triathlete. I don't know. But when you're starching hose in the first 3 minutes of every fight, it's hard to know what your conditioning is going to look like in the second round, or God forbid, the third round if it gets there. And that's the problem. Usually the reason you're finishing these guys in the first round is because you're so explosive. You're putting every ounce of energy you have into every punch, into every scramble, into every submission attempt that you have. So where if you don't get your opponent out of there right away, usually that gas tank can fade quickly. So I don't think this fight is going to see a decision, you guys. Hammering Hog saying Molina has impressed me, man. Lacerda arguably shouldn't be in the UFC. Maybe Contender Series first. Yeah, and that's weird. Sometimes you do see these guys who kind of jump over the Contender Series. They leapfrog it, and then they get here, and you're like, wait, why did they leapfrog the Contender Series? Maria de Oliveira was on the Brazilian Contender Series. She quit against Marina Rodriguez, got absolutely destroyed by Marina Rodriguez. And I mean, come on, it's Marina Rodriguez. She's fantastic. But now she's making her debut against Tabitha Ricci who's another one who skipped the Contender Series because she took a short notice fight against Manon Fierro in her debut. So now you've got Ricci going to be fighting De Oliveira, and Oliveira is somebody that may not belong here either, but she does have 16 professional fights. So, that's pretty good experience for women's MMA. So we'll see. But yeah, we're going to see if Lacerda belongs here. I mean, the guy's a finisher, so they like finishers. They like exciting fighters. He's diverse. He's getting knockouts. He's getting submissions. So we'll see. And, and Molina's very young, only 24 years old, you guys. So this is a good prospect matchup here. We'll see if Lacerda's UFC level, because if he makes quick work of Jeff Molina, he's going to open some eyes here, and he's definitely opened some eyes on the Brazilian regional scene. So I'm really excited to see this kid fight. But thanks for checking in, Hammering Hog. Appreciate it. And Jack Attack saying he's eyeing a prop on Lacerda, but I don't know how likely it is. Haven't taped the guy yet, but it's juicy. I don't know. Are you looking at that Lacerda by submission prop? Because that'd probably be the way to go, Jack Attack. And I think it's pretty juicy at like plus 600 or plus 700 right now. So we'll have to talk about that. And Hammering Hog saying he's finishing bums. Kaling or Aori also came into the UFC against Molina on a 5-fight win streak. Yeah, and absolutely. I completely agree with what you're saying there. We don't know what it's going to look like, what that level of competition is going to look like once he steps up to this level. So Hammering Hog saying, and he got his ass handed him. I'm seeing the same here. I just watched that fight back. That fight was closer than I remember it being. I thought Quillang won the first and potentially even won the second round. But the problem was that in the last 5 seconds of the second round, Molina put Quillang on his ass and then jumped on him. So, if that round goes another 10 seconds, potentially Molina even gets the ground and pound finish there. But yeah, that was a close fight up until the third round when Molina's conditioning really, really shined, and he really put a volume mess on Quillang there and put it on him, dude. So yeah, Rod Torque saying everything is pointing to the under, but damn, if this doesn't go to decision, I'm hedging go to decision. Yeah, I'm not. I'm betting the under in this fight. I'm betting the fight doesn't go. I'm going to have to dig into the tape a little before I feel comfortable taking a side, but Molina has been impressive so far, and Glory are hot right now, and yes, they are. And we got DFS by the numbers saying not enough info to bet a side, especially at chalk. Less than 10 minutes of fight tape available for Lacerda, and you're absolutely right about that. I think each fighter is going to play safe. No, neither one of these guys is going to play it safe. I don't think, Rod Torque. Especially in the UFC debut, it's very hard to play it safe. Ton of nerves, potential for a huge adrenaline dump. And not only that, this guy's only been into the second round, Lacerda, once in 12 professional fights. It's not in his DNA to take things slowly. So yeah, this is not going to be one where I think either one of them takes it slow. Watch Molina. Even when his fights go to decision, there's people getting knocked down on both sides multiple times, and usually it's a couple of deep submission attempts, some takedowns, some scrambles. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for both of these guys to finish in this fight, and I'm betting on it. And cardio on point too. Yes, that's for sure. And yeah, DFS by the numbers saying Lacerda doesn't strike me as someone that will play it safe. Yeah, and I agree completely. Lacerda could be a cardio machine. We just don't know. Yes, that piece of information is missing. So it's hard to pick a side. But what we can do is look at that under. And when we see where the line is, we can see that there might be some value there. Hammering Hog saying, I don't know, man. They make Jake Hadley 9-0 with 3-0 amateur record fight on DWCS, but they snatched Lacerda up straight away. Yeah. I don't know why. I wish I had the answer for that. But these matchmakers, they got connections in certain places. Maybe they owe people favors. Who knows? But maybe Lacerda, we don't have much tape on him. Maybe the tape that's not available on him, he's been absolutely spectacular. We just don't know. But I do know that these guys are both finishers, and they're both very explosive when they strike and in their grappling exchanges. So I can definitely see this one finishing inside the distance. And then Rodriguez saying, tough fight to calculate the risk. Lack of tape for Lacerda, but young Brazilians tend to get way better when they have the funds to train at a higher level. I could see that being the case, dude. It is about getting the best training, the best coaches, the best training partners, the best equipment, access to the best information and nutrition, all very important. Oh, man. Okay. And yeah, it's always one of those. Are the early finishes due to the lower level of competition, or is Lacerda just that good? Yep. We don't know. And Hammering Hog saying, Weezy, that is facts. That's what I try to give you, man, the facts. And we got Lacerda sub plus 700, KO TKO plus 1150. Wow. Yeah, those are juicy. And the Brazilians are way better than Chinese in general. Well, I mean, in terms of the regional scene, yeah, I would tend to agree. But you know, just on the whole, you can't really say one way or another. But man, those Brazilians love their MMA. They love their Muay Thai. They love their jiu-jitsu. They love their Samba. They love their soccer. What the Brazilians love, they are passionate in loving. And I love the Brazilians for that. And we got Hammering Hog saying Lacerda early, Molina late. I agree with you there. Under is absolutely the way to go according to DFS by the numbers. And Hammering Hog saying Molina is hittable early. Aori was putting it on him in round 1, and he is absolutely right about that, which is why Hammering Hog saying Lacerda early, Molina late makes a lot of sense to me too. So we can't see much from the strength of schedule, you guys, because there's just an 0-1 record is the average guy that Molina's fighting and beating. So, you know, he's got Jacob Silva making his debut, Kalang making his debut. Prior to that, all regional scene fights. So there's really nothing there. Let's go, though, to the advanced stats so we can just kind of take a look real quick at the numbers here for the fights that we actually did see from El Jefe in the UFC level here. So we'll go through those real quick, you guys, before we look at these lines. And you can see we've got the career statistics in the UFC for every fighter on this card that I'm scrolling through right now. It's all available for free right here in the description of the video. Check it out. But we see the volume that this guy Molina is putting on. This is the Silva fight here. And then we got the Kalang fight right above it. So we see that he's out-controlled his opponents 143-48 in the Silva fight, and he was out-controlled 120-43 by Kalang. But here's the significant strike attempts at 356 in the Kalang fight, 199 in the debut against Silva. You know, he's landed 265 of 555, gotten 2 knockdowns, 0 for 3 on his takedown attempts. He would have scored a ton of 131 DraftKings points in his first UFC fight too. And we see that his opponents, you know, 199 of 443 on their significant strike attempts, you know, just a little bit below 50%. He's never been knocked down, but 5 of 6 on those takedown attempts against. But, you know, he's been taken down 5 times, but he's only been controlled for 168 seconds in those 5 takedowns. So that's just a shade over 30 seconds per takedown. So, you know, that's not too bad. That means that his opponents aren't accruing a ton of control time once they get him to the ground. He's usually getting up pretty quickly. So that's what we want to see when people are being taken down over and over again. We want to see him get back up. We want to see him drain on the gas tank of their opponent and then really wear them out and potentially get that 3rd round finish. But the odds are what we have to look at here, you guys. And let's bring up the Lacerda Molina props that are available to us. Now, the first thing that we need to look at here is going to be the fight doesn't go to decision prop. Now, I already have this. I made this bet earlier today. I went 2.5 units deep on it because I believe when you have a fighter, one of the fighters in a fight who has only been out of the first round once in 12 professional fights, that screams under for me. Fights like that, especially when you have a 90% finish rate in the wins, 66% finish rate in the losses, you know, I'll bet an under like that up until about minus 250. So at minus 250, I'll put down 2.5 units to win 1. But when I see a minus 250 under that's priced at plus 125 or plus 130, which is where I got it, I'll smash it for that full 2.5 units and try to get 3 units back. And if I'm wrong, I'll lose that 1.10, I'll lose those 2.5 units like I would have on betting a fight like the Santos Walker fight doesn't go to decision. We're wrong, we lose units. We're right, we win units. But when we get those lines that seem out of whack, and this one seems out of whack, you guys, you got a guy that's only been in the second round once in his entire career. He's never seen a decision ever in his career. He's never seen a third round ever in his career. He's making a UFC debut. He's fighting outside of Brazil for the first time in his life. Everything screams that this fight is going to finish inside the distance. And if it does, that way it covers the Lacerda side and it covers the Molina side. I believe it's the bet to make. I've got 2.5 units on the fight doesn't go to decision. Bet online plus 130. Also, the other bet that I got, because I do like Molina here, I've seen more tape on him. I know that he's well-rounded. I know that he hits extremely hard. And most importantly, for this particular fight, because we've only seen Lacerda in a second round once in his career, the one thing that I really need to see if I'm going to bet on that guy is I need to see a gas tank. I need to see fantastic conditioning. And one thing that I would really like to see too, if I'm going to lay juice on a fighter, is I want to know if they're coming from a good camp and coming from a good coach, a coach with some brains, a coach that knows how to put together a game plan that is going to help his fighter win fights and take the least amount of damage and the least amount of risk possible. Molina has that in spades, training over at Glory MMA, spending time with James Krause. James Krause being in his corner since the Chance Camacho fights from what I could see. So you got a 21-year-old that's being coached by James Krause. Now he's 24. This is a fantastic place for him to be. It's a fantastic place to grow and to learn. And I am liking Molina here. I think he gets it done inside the distance just because we haven't even seen Lacerda ever go to a third round in his career. And even if it does get to the third round, I know for a fact that Molina is going to have the conditioning to go heavy in the third round, because we've seen it twice in his last two fights, and we've never seen Lacerda really. I've never even seen Lacerda in a second round because there isn't any tape available on that fight where he went into the second round. So I love the fight doesn't go to decision here. And if I think that the fight definitely doesn't go to decision, I'm betting either one of these guys to win inside the distance. And the Molina inside the distance prop is plus 235. So I am 3 units deep on this fight, you guys. I have got Molina for a half unit at plus 235 to win inside the distance. And I will also be looking at a third round prop, but I would like to get it at better than plus 1,000, which is where it's available right now on Bet Online. And that is Molina wins in round 3 right here at plus 1,000, you guys. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at right here. Fight doesn't go to decision. Molina inside the distance for a half unit, and then potentially Molina in round 3 for maybe a tenth of a unit, or maybe if I feel a little bit cheeky for a full quarter unit to try to get, 2.5 units back on a potential 10-1. But I'd like to get better than that, maybe 12-1, 14-1. I'm going to see where it opens on DraftKings and FanDuel. But yeah, this is definitely what I am looking at. Let's see what you guys are looking at here in the chat. Let's see. Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, wow. And okay. And we got Jack Attack saying the Germans took the Chinese L streak and ran with it. Yeah, I had money on Mandy Bohm. She did not do her country proud in that performance against Lipsky, that's for sure. And Nick saying I'm Brazilian, by the way. Yeah, so you're going to love that Samba. You're going to love that MMA. You're going to love that football. I love the Brazilian people, man. They're fantastic. I worked with some guys that were Brazilian in the past, and I thoroughly enjoyed their company. Dan Goldstein saying, good morning, you fine degenerates and undesirables. I'm late today, but let's treat the bookies like Conor McGregor treats Italian DJs and smash them. Oh, there's always sometimes the best stories for Conor are outside the ring, beating up Italian DJs. My God. We got Rod Torque saying maybe because of the lack of tape on Lacerda, first 2 rounds, maybe a feeling out time. Maybe. I mean, maybe the guy just goes in there frozen and doesn't throw any volume, and he's just kind of, the moment's too big for him. But that's not what we see. Just because we haven't seen something, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. But we can't just say, like, when we haven't seen something, we have to kind of try to continue with that trend. And then once the trend gets broken, then we can start to talk about betting against that trend. But when we try, the trend is your friend, is an old trading saying. Just go with it. Don't fight it. And if this guy is, only seeing a second round, 8% of the time in his pro career, you don't want to be the one, especially when, and the fight not going to decision here, they're not paying you for that. They're not paying you to take this. The fight goes to decision is minus 155. I mean, you're paying juice. You're paying juice for a guy that's seen the second round once and saying that this time the fight's going to go to decision. And they're telling you it's like an implied probability of 61, 62%. No thanks, man. The bet here is the fight doesn't go. If you think that the fight is going to go to decision, you can wait. You can make the bet on Saturday. You'll be getting plus money on it because the rest of the sharps are going to be betting the under in this one. Yo, we got Miz saying, what's good, Weezy? Oh, man, everything's good on my end, dude. And in about 10 minutes, we're going to be off here because we're going to be going over to my man Brady's channel, and I'll be posting the link in the chat here for the main event breakdown that I'll be doing on DFS by the Numbers channel here. And we got Hammer and Hog saying that is great. Tires out the guy taking you down too, and it absolutely does. Chris for the love saying, where are you getting the sub props on this fight already? That is on Bet Online. So Bet Online put out their props, and we've got Molina inside the distance plus 235, Molina by decision plus 125, Lacerda inside the distance plus 400, Molina by submission is plus 900, Lacerda by submission plus 700, Molina by KO plus 400, Lacerda by KO TKO plus 1150. So that's where we got him, Chris. They're already on Bet Online. We got my guy Kalanzas in the room. Let's go. We got Pat Timber saying, Uncle Weezy, Marina put on a show. She did. Marina put on a show not only against Mackenzie Dern. What a fantastic performance that was. Dern getting her down in the second round, accruing 3 minutes of control time, and really not even getting close to subbing Marina Rodriguez. Fantastic performance by Marina Rodriguez. And when we talk about this week, we can watch Marina Rodriguez fight Maria Oliveira, who will be making her UFC debut against the baby shark Tabitha Ricci. And we saw in that fight, Marina Rodriguez just put on a show and shave poor Marina Oliveira's ass. It was bad, made her quit in the first round. But yeah, Marina Oliveira will be looking to get some revenge, get back in the UFC here and book her first win against the baby shark here. We'll see how she looks, but Marina Rodriguez is fantastic, and arrow pointing straight up for her. Monk Maddox in the room, the Monk Matician, saying, what up, Weezy? What up, chat? Good to see Monk in here. I know that you just dropped a video that people should be checking out on your channel, breaking down, I think, the main card for UFC Vegas 41. And we got Chris saying, where do you get the props already for this fight? That's what I meant. Yeah, so the props for this fight, are on betonline.ag. That's where they're at. And let's see. We got Hammering Hog saying, I love that take, guys. Molina nearly finished Aori round 3. Don't think someone who has 12 first-round finishes can survive that. Yeah, Quillang showed incredible toughness, as did Jacob Silva. Silva ate so many clean shots, ate a clean head kick right to the jaw and to the temple, right the shin, right there. That's why I think we're getting such good value on the fight doesn't go here. Quillang, next level toughness. Jacob the Animal Silva, next level toughness. Now you got Lacerda making his UFC debut. He's been finished in his only loss, and a guy that's only been out of the first round once. So I don't know. We don't know what his toughness is going to look like. I think if he eats a head kick like Silva ate, he will be in the shadow realm. If he eats some of those shots that Quillang was eating in the late third round of their fight, he will be in the shadow realm. And if he's not, I'll be out 3 units. And that's what gambling is, you guys. We put our money where our mouths are. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But I love this line. I think this line is going to move a lot. I'm saying that this line flips for sure. If by Saturday you can still get fight doesn't go at plus money, I would be shocked. And we got the man, the legend. Yeah. So you guys, I think let's see, what up, Dan? And we got, coach that doesn't hurt fighters' feelings. Who's with me? And Chris for the love saying, I'm thinking I'll take the Molina money line, and if need be, hedge round 1 for his opponent as a sprinkle. But I think Kraus gets him ready for anything, and I tend to agree with you there, Chris. Are you talking about Aspen Ladd's coach boyfriend, Monk? Yeah, what a meanie. And let's see. If that hurt her feelings and she's in the wrong profession, yeah, you got that right, man. Yeah, if you don't like being talking to like that, you don't get past the first couple weeks of martial arts. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see. We got Dream Team MMA, the Netherlands, saying, "What's up, Onk? It's good to see you in here." And there are 2 types of UFC debut. Either the guy froze like Tyler Santos, or that Chinese guy, or he goes for broke, finishes, or gets finished. Yeah. Agreed. But this isn't a debut for Molina. And if you freeze against Molina, he's going to knock you out. Dan Goldstein, does anyone else here feel they got an undue ass shaving from the bookie due to Chris Lee and that 27-30 abortion he gave Danny Roberts? Yeah, Chris Lee is one of the worst. My personal favorite or least favorite is Ron McCarthy. That guy, if I have a bet on somebody and Ron McCarthy is judging, doesn't matter what the fight looks like, Ron McCarthy will pick against me. I don't know if I've ever met him and he just hates me. But yeah, I can't stand him. Sal D'Amato, not high up on that list. And then, of course, there's Chris Lee. There's Adelaide Bird, who's not a good judge, but a very handsome woman. There's a lot of bad judging, you guys, and it's part of this game that we play. It's part of what makes the variance in this sport so tough to deal with, but it's also what makes it so exciting. And Hammering Hog saying, if Molina is bigger at weigh-ins, I'm going in. And not just the tip. Man's going deep. Yeah, dude, I hear you, dude. We're going to have to see what Lacerda looks like, man. What's the line for fight doesn't go now? I see it at plus 125. Let me see if it's changed at all. Plus 125 still on Bet Online, according to Best Fight Odds. The shittiest asshole corrupt judge is Chris Lee, according to Hammering Hog. Bastard gave it 29-28 Barber in that robbery over Maverick. Yeah, man, that's rough. Dealing with judging is just something that we have to do as mixed martial arts bettors and fans. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. Hopefully, they come up with some kind of a solution to this horseshit judging, but there doesn't seem to be anything on the horizon. But you know what is on the horizon, you guys? A full card breakdown for the Paulo Costa Marvin Vettori fight that's going to be coming up, you guys, on DFS by the Numbers channel. Let me go to YouTube here. Let me go to the channels that I'm subscribed to, which are DFS by the Numbers there, and Liam Picks Fights, MMA Lock of the Night, Bleed MMA, Half the Battle, Pub Sports Radio, a whole bunch of others like Monk Maddox, but anyway, oh, damn, it doesn't show it. All right, so I'll go to the YouTube page here, and now it shows Uncle Weezy, and then this one, you guys. So this is where I'm going right now. I'm going to post this. Oh, and Dan Goldstein saying Adelaide Bird is right up there with handsomeness with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We don't speak ill of the dead here, Dan Goldstein, but I will tell you something. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, one of the handsomest women to ever walk the face of the planet. And for Adelaide Bird even to be named in the same breath of handsomeness with one Ruth Bader Ginsburg tells us that she is at least on the Mount Rushmore for most handsome female judge in MMA. I'm going to leave it at that, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for another episode of Balls Deep Breakdowns. I got the link in there to the full card breakdown I'll be doing on DFS by the Numbers channel here in 5 minutes. God bless each and every one of you. Check in with me tomorrow night after the Contender Series, 10 o'clock Central Time, for the full card breakdown, just the tip. I'll have the smoking jacket on that you see behind me here, and we will go over all 12 fights on the UFC Vegas 41 card. The bets for this fight, the Lacerda Molina fight, 2.5 units on the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 130. 1/2 unit on Molina to win inside the distance at plus 235. I'll also be looking at a sprinkle for the third round prop on Molina at plus 1,000 or better. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I'm going to leave it right here. We'll see you over on DFS by the Numbers channel for the main event breakdown. God bless each and every one of you, and I will talk to you guys soon.